spend a lot of time these days thinking about Futurama and thinking about the 1939-1940 World's Fair, because as a futurist, the one thing you should know about futurists is that our most common characteristic is that we are very frequently wrong. That's really what we do. But when you get it right, you really get it right. And no one has ever gotten it more right than Norman Bel Geddes, the industrial designer and futurist who designed Futurama, who, in the depths of the Depression on the outbreak of war in Europe, imagined, on behalf of course, his client, General Motors, what that post-war future would be and envisioned on their behalf. And 75 million Americans came through over the 2 years of the fair. I actually have one of the pins that they gave everyone that says, "I have seen the future." And this, of course, is exactly what we proceeded to build and are still building around the world. You go to Sheikh Zayed Road in Dubai, and this is exactly what it looks like. And also, isn't it ironic that, tomorrow's future is today's stranded assets? But I digress there. But what's most remarkable about it is, when I said he really hit, is that, within 7 years of this concept design, we began building that future. Levittown going up on Long Island. I'll talk a little bit about, single-family rentals and master plan developments. But here, the original master plan suburban development. And of course, with it, new models of financing and thinking about how we deliver products. Thinking about the accoutrement that we would use to build the American nuclear family, and of course, everything that goes from there. And if you're a fan of Fallout, the game or the show, you can sort of imagine if that Eisenhower-era optimism had ever persisted with us, where we would be today. Now, I bring this up, of course, because in 1939-1940, it was General Motors doing this. Well, today, we don't look to car companies for our visions of the future. And I can hear you thinking, what do you mean Tesla is a car company? Actually, no. If you ask Elon Musk, they are an AI and robotics company. So here is Optimus, their effort there to create humanoid robots and basically break into automation. One version of a forcing function of the future and its impacts on us. Apple has, of course, released its Apple Vision Pro, and we're all anxiously waiting its own AI. But here's a fascinating project that is most definitely a legacy of the pandemic, of course, when it seemed like we would all be confined to our homes for eternity. What kind of interior worlds will we build and urban interfaces? And we'll talk a bit about that. And then, of course, also Amazon, which can't be denied. This is not actual footage. This is from an April Fool's Day prank. But it does depict an actual patent that Amazon holds for dropship airships and using drones to basically deliver last-mile packages. Think about this in combination with another patent they have, which, of course, allows for basically predictive ordering. So, what about a future where the Amazon drone lands on your front porch delivering items you didn't know you had ordered yet, but the algorithm predicted it? Yeah, I can use this toilet paper. Why not? Sure, I'll take that. So I give examples of all of these because also as a futurist, I am duty-bound to quote William Gibson, the founder of cyberpunk and creator of cyberspace. The future is already here. It's just not evenly distributed. Meaning of which is that no one who, self-respecting futurist, actually tries to predict the future. Of course, what we do is try to create a series of plausible futures that help us plan and account for different directions things could go. And if you're interested in all that, I would tell you all about our methodology of threat casting that we do at ASU, where we get everyone in a room and you basically sketch the outline of Black Mirror episodes for a couple of hours. It's a lot of fun as an activity. But today, I just want to talk about some of the plausible futures and the technologies that, again, are trying to basically horn us in different directions and how they might play out with impacts back on the built environment and, of course, all the business models and services that are supported by it. So when we talk about not evenly distributed, yes, over the last few years, America, as by population, has become even less evenly distributed, of course. Here you can see, this is drawing on census data, we can see that giant surge of people out of our large coastal metros and the Rust Belt and Northeast into that great green swaths of coastal Florida and of course the Texas Triangle, and of course the huge percentage gains in the Mountain West there with Idaho and Montana. And we can also see that, of course, even more wealth flowed out of these places, poor Cook County here, flowing into Florida and Texas again. And if you look very, very closely, you can see some of those blue squares there in Dallas County, in Harris County, Texas, and elsewhere. And we'll talk a bit about the donut effect and its ongoing legacies. But this is a bit of also foreshadowing. At the end of my talk, we'll talk a bit about why this huge migration into some of the riskiest areas in the United States from a climate perspective might be tragic foreshadowing.